Hey, you guys. Um, Long time no chat. Sorry, I'm just sharing my screen with you guys so you can see what I want you to see. Anyways, okay, first of all, I want to say hello and I love you guys and I miss you guys so much. I'm giving you a huge virtual hug right now. Um, I just want to make sure you guys are doing okay. Um, I mean, I think there's so much to be said, but I don't know what all to say at this point. So I just think you guys just need to be patient, and we need to be patient with you guys. Um, we have never had to teach in this manner before, and you guys have never had to go to school in this manner before. So we're all kind of in this together. I know that you guys are very familiar with Google Classroom, excuse me, in regards to my room or my classroom, but you know, I think you're going to run into teachers who have never had to use Google Classroom before, and now they are being required to, and they just don't really know what they're doing. So just be patient with them. We're going to be very um, patient with you guys in regards to work and like schoolwork. So, just reach out to your teachers. We're required to be basically on um, available just like we would be in normal school hours. So you should be able to email your teacher at any point. So, um, housekeeping stuff, just I'll reiterate kind of what I talked about in my remind. You're not going to be required to um, keep track of your hours during this time. Um, So don't even worry about that. Most of y'all are probably not working anyways, especially if you work for kin. Not sure if the First Mark folks are having to work. Um, if you work in a restaurant, which I know a few of you guys do, or a handful of you do, if you're able to work, great. If you're not able to work right now, don't even worry about that for this class. So really, what we're going to focus on is just content and classwork. And then I will let you know if and when that ever does change. Okay. So don't worry about I'm not getting my 10 hours a week. We're not even going to have to do timesheets. We're not going to fill out pay stub or turn in pay stubs right now. Just all of that's just kind of going off to the side for right now. I did say that if you're needing to work um, for financial reasons, then HEB's hiring. I know Amazon's hiring as well. I don't know what the age range is for Amazon, so um, I can't really speak to that too much. Um, HEB obviously being a big one. I know Walmart's hiring as well. So if you need to work for financial reasons, then please feel free to reach out to any of them, but you're not required to work for my class right now. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else housekeeping stuff related. Oh, my Zoom room. So in Google Classroom, you may have already seen me post, but you'll probably see it starting Monday. All of your teachers are required to post stuff on Monday. So I've got these two assignments kind of waiting here to be posted. But this is already in my Google Classroom. So this is my Zoom room. There's a some instructions here on how to do it. It's super, super, super easy if you've never had to do them before. So I I think every one of you guys could handle it. You don't need any special software on your computer. Just follow the instructions. It's really easy. Um, I have my virtual tutoring hours on odd calendar days. So you'll see like tomorrow is going to be the 23rd. So that's an odd day. And I'm specifically arranged for career prep to have the 2 to 3 hour slot. So feel free to jump in at 2 or anytime in between 2 and 3 o'clock. And I'll have that open and ready to chat if you need help with something or you just need to check in because you just miss that interaction. Um, that's you're more than welcome to come in for that. Or if there is like I can't really help you with English or math or science, like I'm not, you guys know me well enough to know that I can't really help you with that. But if it's something Google Classroom related, like you're not really sure on how to turn something in or something like that, you know, y'all are really, really, really smart. So I think you can figure it out. But if it's just something that you can't figure out, we can try and work on it together. So all those are great reasons for you to join into the Zoom. It's not required. It's just there for you if you need it. And you can always reach out to me on Remind, or you can email me as well. So lots of options for, I promise I'll show my face during the 2 to 3 hours. So you'll actually get to see me instead of just having to hear me. I'll make sure and, you know, take a shower and put my makeup on and stuff. So this time has been pretty great in that regard. Okay, so this week, your 2 assignments have to do with writing formal business letters. There's 2 formats that we use when we're writing formal business letters. We either use a block style or a modified block. Block is the most common, and so that's the one I'm going to show you. For these 2 assignments, you don't need Microsoft Word on your computer. I'll probably be reaching out to you this week just to ask each person individually, like, do you have Microsoft Word on your computer? Because I mean, pretty much going forward, like, we can do everything in Docs, but the whole point is for you to learn how to use Microsoft Word, because not every single employer will have Google Docs as an option. So it's important that you understand how to do, you know, these kinds of things, like all the things that I've taught you how to do. It's important for you to know how to do them in both spots. You know, I'm not going to teach you how to do them in both places, but if you don't have Microsoft Word, it's not going to be a make or break. So don't freak out or worry about that. You don't need to go and get it. Like, don't even worry about that. So, but in either way, if everyone has Microsoft Word, then cool. If we don't have, if we have a mix, then I'll figure something out. So not for you to worry about. But okay. So when you guys log into Google Classroom tomorrow, because I'm recording this on Sunday, you'll probably see the video will be up here, and then there'll be these 2 assignments. So I tried to number them 1, 2, so you know what order in which to do them in. So this redneck letter, let's start with just kind of looking at what a block style letter looks like. So this is what a block style letter looks like. And remember, we went over this. These are those paragraph marks. They will not show up when you print, but they are showing you they will show you how many times to press enter in between each section, because it's very important. Formatting is very important when you're doing a formal business letter, because it's just common business knowledge that you do the correct format. It's just one of those unspoken business etiquette type of rules that we follow. And if you don't follow them, I don't think you'll get fired, but I think someone might, your boss or your manager might come to you and sit you down and teach you, the proper way to write a formal business letter. We use email so much now, and I've already taught you guys proper email etiquette and formatting for that. But there are times when you might actually have to draft in a letter, and you may not have to physically mail it in the mail. You might, I still get formal business letters in the mail, but a lot of times they will draft a formal business letter and then send it as an attachment in an email. So just kind of like I showed you guys those memos, we don't type the memo in the body of the email. Memos are sent, and they're sent as attachments in an email. So same thing with formal business letters. So we use formal business letters when it's obviously formal. The subject matter is extremely, important, or like I said, very formal. You wouldn't just, write this letter if you're just saying hi or corresponding with like your aunt or your best friend. Again, most commonly used in the business setting. Okay, so there are 8 parts to a to a block style formal letter. And the reason it's block is because everything is, as you can see here, everything is left aligned. Okay, so nothing's centered, nothing is right aligned. Everything is left aligned. So the first part is the return address. The return address is your address. So when you're typing your letters, you're going to type your address here. Notice you don't have to put your name here. If you end up putting your name, no big deal, but it's not required. Right after you type the zip code in your address, you're going to press enter 1 time and type the current date. Okay, and then you'll press enter again, and you'll press enter all the way 4 times essentially till you get to the what we call the inside address. Not really sure why they call that, but the inside address is the address of the person that you're sending the letter to. So you'll put their name here and you'll put their formal name. If you don't know their formal name, you'll just address them as Mr. or Mrs. But first and last name would always be appropriate. The second line is going to be their title. So what title do they have within the company, or what title do they have in the organization that you're sending it to? And then their address. So the number of the street number, and then the street name, city, state, zip code, city, state, zip code, all in the same line. Press enter twice, and then you say dear, and then you would say the person's name. So dear Mr., dear Mrs., or dear John Doe, dear John Smith. First, last name is fine. This part of the letter is called the salutation. So it's the greeting. And just like in your email, dear is what you would want to use in a formal letter. You would never want to start a formal business letter with hey or hello. But like I said, when we did emails, that might be more appropriate because it's less formal. But in this case, we're very, very formal. So dear recipient, dear Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, and then a comma after their name. This next part is the body of the email, and you'll notice just like we did in our emails, we separate thoughts into paragraphs. So we don't type one big paragraph. We always have a space between each paragraph. When you get to the very bottom, you're going to type the complementary close. So you'll press the period or whatever punctuation mark you have at the end of your letter. You'll press enter 3 times. You'll type sincerely. That's a great complimentary close, especially for a formal email. So sincerely, and then a comma. You press enter one, 2, 3, and then you get to this 4th line. You'll type your name. You're the sender, and then you'll press enter again, and you'll put your title if applicable, if applicable. So this whole area, like I said, this is called the complimentary close. This is called the signature block, this empty space here. Ideally, they've kept this format even though we've gone a lot to email, because if you were going to print this out and send it or hand it to someone physically, you'd want to have space to actually sign your name. So that's why they call that the signature block. And then underneath your signature, sometimes, everybody has their own unique signature, and sometimes you can't tell what the person's name is just based on their signature. And the person you're writing to, they may not know who you are. So if you just scribble your signature here, like a lot of us have signatures like that, you want to make sure that you put what your name is so that they know exactly who you are. But of course, that might be up here as well. But if not, the sender's name is down here. And then your title, if you have one. You guys at this point in your careers don't really have official titles, but eventually you will, and you'd want to put that down below just so that the person who's receiving your email, or excuse me, your formal letter, will know, like, oh, this is Ashley Wilkes and she is a business educator. So there's just more information for them. Okay, so those are the 8 parts of your block style, and I've included this in here because that's going to help you write for this assignment. Okay, so the next thing I want you to open is this PDF. So this is your block style letter, but you can see here it's all scrambled. Um, all 8 parts are here. You just have to figure out which part goes where and when each part goes where. So you have all the parts that I just showed you here, all 8 parts here are here, except for it's all scrambled. So you'll have to figure that out, and where you're going to type all that information is right here in this blank Google Doc. So there's nothing in the Google Doc right now. You're just going to start typing on the first line. So you'll utilize, here, let me close this so we don't have a bunch of tabs. You'll utilize this PDF to help you figure out all the order of all these different parts, and you'll type that into that Google Doc. Okay. All right, so that's assignment number one. And of course, you guys feel free to, space out these assignments however you want to space out your week. So this is gonna, I think this is, as much as we don't like being in school right now, or some of you might be just over the moon the fact that you're not in school. I think this is a good, just kind of college readiness, because a lot of your classes are going to be structured online, and you're going to have to not only figure out how to navigate that online process when you get to college, but this is really good at teaching you guys time management, because like all of your teachers are required to upload their assignments by tomorrow, and then their due dates are Friday. So you basically have till, you have all week to figure out when you're going to schedule time to do all of your work. And so I know that when we talked about time management in class, I hate that we just don't have time to really like practice that a lot. But I guess one benefit from this is that you're kind of having to learn that right now. So you're going to have all these assignments to do in all of your classes, and you're going to have just not unlimited time, but you have Monday through Friday at 11:59 essentially to do it all. So you can space it out throughout the week if you want to, conquer one class per day. That's one way to do it. If or if some people are going to procrastinate and they're going to wait till the very last minute. I don't suggest that, because that's really stressful. And we talked about how, managing stress. And one of the ways to do that is by having good time management skills. But so anyways, I just, side note. Okay. So that's assignment one. Assignment two is a letter to Mayor Ron Nirenberg. Um, so when you open up the Google Doc, the first page is going to be all for instructions. So do not type anything on this first page. I tried to make it nearly impossible for you to do that. So you're going to actually start typing your letter on the second page. So essentially what I'm going to have you do is I want to have you write a formal block style letter, um, and have it applied to real life. So one of the ideas that I had was for you to write a letter to our mayor. So that's his title. That'll come in handy, his name, and give him 2 steps that the San Antonio government can take to help fight the spread of COVID-19. So you're going to come up with 2 ideas. Sorry if that, I just ripped my headphones out of my ears. Um, you're going to come up with 2 original steps that the mayor can do, or the city of San Antonio, we as citizens can do, to help the spread, of, help stop the spread of COVID-19. So obviously what I'm looking for in this letter are the 8 parts, right? So the return address, which is your address, the date that you're writing the letter. So whatever day of this week you're writing your letter, that'll be the date. The inside address, which I've included down here for you. The salutation. So you can say, Dear Mr. Nirenberg, Dear Ron Nirenberg, Dear Mr. Mayor, Dear Mr. I would definitely not use Dear Ron. Y'all are not on friendly terms like that, so that would not be appropriate for this type of letter. Number 5 is going to be the body of your letter. So that's the information that you're going to come up with, your 2 steps. So I want you to, utilize everything that you've learned in your English classes about writing well-structured paragraphs, well-structured sentences, grammar, punctuation, spelling. You never know, I might actually print these and mail them to him. So I have all the time in the world to do that. I have no problems doing that at all. So pretend or not, wink, wink, that I'm actually going to send it. And you wouldn't want to represent yourself, represent your family, or represent Reagan with a poorly written email, or excuse me, poorly written letter to our mayor. So the body, that's what you're going to do in the body. And remember, like I showed you before, we separate our paragraphs. We don't do one gigantic chunk of a paragraph, just like we did in our emails. Your complimentary close, so that would be your sincerely, comma, your signature block, which is those blank spaces in between, and your name. So typing your first and last name. So begin typing on page 2 of this doc. So that's where you're going to type. So just once you're done reading the instructions, you can scroll down to the second page and just start typing. If it goes to a third page, that is completely okay. So let's look at the rubric is attached to the assignment already. So I just want to show you that. So parts of the block style letter, that's the first thing I'm going to look for. So does it contain all 8 requirements? Spacing, did you do the spacing correctly? Like according to, and you're more than welcome to go back to this PDF and utilize this. This is why I included it in here. So you have the correct format and spacing there for you. So you don't have to try and figure it out on your own. You have that here to use. So let's go back to that rubric. So spacing, your paragraphs and sentences. So sentences and paragraphs are complete, excellently structured, and are varied structure. So that's what we're shooting for. We don't want fragments, run-ons, sentences that just don't make sense. Your ideas. So those 2 ideas that I asked you for, they were expressed in a clear and organized fashion. I highly suggest maybe splitting up your 2 ideas into your 2 paragraphs. So maybe your first paragraph, you start out saying, how great of a job they've done so far. And then your second paragraph can go into your first idea, second paragraph or third paragraph would be your second idea. And then your last paragraph, even if it's just one sentence, can be your closing and just thanking him for his time and consideration. And then the last section I'm going to be grading on is your grammar, spelling, punctuation. Oh, I put spelling twice. I'm so sorry. I think it meant to put grammar, spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. My bad. So I did it down here too. I'm such a ding dong. Anyways, you guys get the point. One of these spellings is supposed to be capitalization. So note to self, edit or check your work before you submit. Learn from my mistakes. So if I see any of the like squiggly lines or things that are underlined in green or red, that obviously means you did not, look over your own work before you submitted it. So make sure you do that, because you can get, even just by making more than 4 of those errors, you can lose a lot of points from that. So just pay attention to that when you turn it in. So like I said, guys, I'm going to be in my Zoom room tomorrow, since it's an odd day, from 2 to 3. If you don't want to attempt this assignment until later in the week, or you're not listening to this till later in the week, as long as it's an odd calendar day. So Monday will be a day I'll be in my Zoom, Wednesday, and then Friday. Hopefully you're not joining my Zoom on Friday, wanting me to reiterate this entire video, because I'll probably just say, you need to go watch the video. So anyways, let me know if you guys have questions. If you do, I'll be in my Zoom room Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 to 3. And I'll look forward to seeing you there. All right. Good luck, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. um, oh, there it is. Sorry. See what I mean? Be patient with us, guys. And